Hi guys, so we've been getting a lot of questions on our Facebook page about making soap, so decided to do a little instructional video here to help you guys out. Anybody that's interested in making their own soap, this is a great starter recipe. We use it, I do an unscented recipe for hunting, so this is basically our hunter soap. These are all ingredients that you can find locally, aside from the lye that you need to order online. I get mine from brambleberry.com. It's a great soap supply store online. Other than that, we have castor oil, we have coconut oil, olive oil, and then our special little twist this round will be the deer tallow from Mark's buck that he got this past year.
My buck, not Allison's, because Allison didn't get a buck this year.
I didn't try to get a buck this year. We were moving. It was a difficult time.
Don't you deny?
But at the end of it, now these ingredients together will be a very cleaning. Has a lot of cleansing properties, but it's not very conditioning for the skin. So at the end, we have some local honey here that I'm going to add to help make it a little bit more conditioning for the skin. But, okay, so we're going to start with our lye. We're going to measure this out. Oh, my scale keeps turning off.
Now you're doing weights, correct?
I do weights, yes. You get a more accurate measure by doing weights. So this one, 152. Okay, now all of your...
No, lye is dangerous right now, right?
Lye is very dangerous.
Put your damn glasses down then.
That's why we're outside. Anytime you're doing this, you want to be in an open ventilation or have proper ventilation. We're outside, so let me measure this out. Okay, now all of your fats have different saponification values. So they're all going to need different amounts of liquid and different amounts of lye to have that chemical reaction to turn it into soap. So I use soapcalc.net. It's a great source. You can put in all of your ingredients and the amounts that you're going to do, and then you just hit a magical button and it calculates and tells you how much of the lye and how much of the water that you need. Now, when you're doing this, you always want to add your lye to your water. If not, it will kind of blow up and make a huge chemical reaction.
All your measurements in the recipe are going to be posted too in more detail on Facebook.
All of the ingredients. Now, before I started using the deer fat, I have used the commercially made, I think it's Manchego, the lard that you can buy at Walmart. So I'll post that recipe too, and then I'll post the deer fat for any hunters out there that render their own deer fat down. So you kind of want to add this slow.
Yeah, don't splash.
Don't splash. This lye comes in beads and it comes in flakes. This is the first time using the flakes, and I don't really like the flakes as much. It doesn't dissolve. So I do a lot of goat's milk, so you can see it's kind of getting cloudy and heating up there.
So that's going to make heat because of the chemical reaction.
It's going to heat up, yeah.
How hot?
A couple hundred degrees. It gets
Are you
hot.
serious?
Yeah. Yeah, so once this is all mixed together, this is all my fats right here that I already have pre-measured out. Once these are all measured together, I'm going to, and this starts to cool, I'm going to warm that up, melt that coconut oil and stuff, and when you mix the two together, you want them to be around 100 degrees. Feel that heat, honey.
I'm not putting my hand over that.
It's at 175.
175?
Yep. So I'm going to let this cool until it's around 100 degrees. I'm going to melt these and get them around 100 degrees, and then we'll mix them together.
Now, you're using a heat temperature gun.
Yes. You can use a regular stick thermometer if you like. I like this one because I'm not touching anything. It's an instant read. It's very easy to use. I like to use a clear glass container when I'm mixing my lye because you can look into it and make sure all the lye is dissolved. If you don't have it all dissolved, when you go ahead and make your soap, then you get little lye chunks in your soap, and it's just not good.
Is that dangerous?
Yeah, you can get a chemical burn from the lye. That's why I'm using gloves and eye protection.
First rule of Fight Club is don't talk about Fight Club. She has the kiss on her hand. Show them the scar.
But, okay, so that is step one. We've mixed our lye. It is heating up
still. How
hot? Actually, 170, so it's not too bad. Now, I also do a lot of goat's milk soaps, and if you're doing anything with milk, you want to make goat milk ice cubes basically, and you add in your lye even slower than I did with the water because you don't want your soap or your milk to scorch and turn brown and get really nasty.
Which is too complicated, so we're not doing that.
Well, I don't have any goat's milk right now. I've been holding off making this until we got some goat's milk, and I grabbed the last bar of soap the other
So it
day.
went clear.
Yeah, And you
Okay.
can see down in there, there's a chunk or two of the lye that hasn't dissolved yet. I'm gonna keep stirring it up, get it to dissolve.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll be back as soon as this is cooled down and we'll continue on. All right, so we're back. Our oils have cooled. My lye is sitting at 114 right now. My oils are 118, so that's a good temperature. You want them to be inside like a 10-degree window. I had warmed up my oil a little warmer than what I wanted to because it took a little bit higher of a temperature to get that deer fat to soften or to melt. So I just took this ice pack here and I just dipped it in there and then stirred the oil around. So if that happens to you, go ahead and use ice to cool it down.
Don't use ice to cool down the lye, right?
No, don't use ice to cool down the lye. The lye will just let the lye do what it does. So from here, we're going to mix our lye into the oil until it thickens up. It reaches what's called trace, and then that way you know that's when the chemical reaction actually takes place.
If you were going to do scent, when would you be adding scent?
You would put scent in after it achieves trace. Some scents can speed up that trace process, and then you want to work with it really fast. Some of them don't, and usually when you order a scent, it will tell you how it reacts within the soap.
Okay.
So I have this immersion blender, my pour immersion blender. This thing is so old. I have used this thing so many years for so many different things.
All right, PPE.
Okay.
Remember, guys, wear your glasses, wear your gloves, wear your stuff. Allison normally does not. We've specifically made her do it for this video.
I'm a rebel.
You got to go slow or you got to go fast?
I'll pour it in slow. It doesn't matter. I think I like to pour it in a little bit slow.
Ooh, it smells.
Smell already?
It smells.
Smells like what?
Sweet smelling. But why does it smell?
Probably the coconut oil.
That's what it is. I mean, it's scent free, technically.
Yeah, this is a non-scented.
You putting honey in when? When do you put the honey in?
I'm going to put the honey in after this reaches trace, and different fats, different soaps, they'll all reach trace at different times.
I may have been filming, but I don't remember hearing what the heck trace is. Like,
trace is when the chemical reaction, that saponification, actually happens, when it takes place.
how do we know when that is?
It'll look like cake batter, and I'll show you guys. When you
Okay.
lift up your blender, you'll be able to see. It's called trace because it leaves tracks. When you lift it up and you let it flow off the immersion blender,
Okay.
it leaves tracks. You want to get down in there and film?
No? Yeah, I don't have any PPE on.
This is the longest part, aside from waiting.
How long does it take?
What?
How long does it take?
Just depends on the soap. Some go fast, some go slow.
I don't know if I should
I've
hit
never
pause.
used deer lard, so we'll probably have to fast forward. What is called light trace. You want to zoom in?
Lee,
real
let me see
quick?
how you got this.
Okay, so you can kind of see, mostly in a glare, not really. There's different stages of trace. This is light trace, so it's kind of leaving tracks. You can see right there.
Okay, well, don't put your hand in it. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Okay,
So it's just a little bit thicker. It's like,
yeah, it gets thick. It starts leaving tracks on top. I'm gonna go ahead and add the honey because this is my first time adding honey. So
which deer like the smell of honey?
I'm not quite sure how it's going to react. Honey is very conditioning to your skin, and since this is not a very conditioning bar, itself, I wanted to add the honey. Now, a good rule of thumb is you want to add 1 tablespoon of honey per pound of fats, but like I said, I've never used it before, so this is a 1,000 gram recipe and I'm only using, which is a little over 2 pounds, but I'm only adding 1 tablespoon of honey. Alright, so this would be more medium trace. That light trace is back when I would start adding. Some people take it farther, but I'm going to let it go right there. I got a hair on my thing. Now, we are also going to be putting some homegrown loofah into our molds. These are just regular PVC. I think they're what, 3-inch PVC?
Maybe.
That I've cut.
It's schedule 40.
I've got the caps on them.
Yeah, 3-inch with caps.
And I've cut, this is just the like shelf liner, I believe it was.
Plastic liner.
Yeah, plastic liner. And I just did that as a, so it'll pop out when it's done. Just.
Yeah, well, you tried doing it. Well, where's my loofah? Are you going to put my loofah in or what?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some in, I'm going to shove the loofah down in, put some more in, shove the loofah down in.
Oh, so that way it's
the
actually
loofah is
in.
completely covered. That way there's no bubbles in it or anything like that.
All right, guys, I'm asking all these questions because Allison's been making soap for a long time, and I never actually watched her do it. I just reaped the benefits.
All right, we got some in there.
Now, the whole point of the deer soap is she started making the deer soap unscented, and the day that we started using this was the day we stopped really getting winded by deer and pigs. That I mean, we've used a lot of scent cover companies before, but
I think, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are saying that the deer are getting used to those, like the commercially available non-scented things, or the scent covers and stuff like that. And I don't know how much of it is true, but like Mark said, the day that we stopped using it and started using just a regular unscented homemade soap, we don't get winded anymore. I mean, not anymore.
we get winded. Don't say anymore.
But
we definitely get winded.
Less.
Yes. Well, also we don't use scented.
We don't use any scented
detergent
laundry
anymore
detergents
either.
or anything like that either. Honey, there was another thing of loofah
Oh,
somewhere.
got it. Hold on, I got to show all the weird people your feet.
Do you want to zoom down in and
Look how
watch this?
dirty they are.
Oh gosh, don't even. They're terrible. Do you want to zoom down in and watch me press this down?
Not really. Am I going to get hurt?
No, you're fine.
It's going to overflow.
That's okay. Okay.
Are you going to dump more? I'm keeping my distance because like this still technically can hurt me, right?
Yes, this can still technically burn you.
All right, here's the question of the day. If you spill this on yourself, what do you put on it to neutralize it?
Just wash it with water.
That's it? I thought there's, with a chemical burn, I thought you put something on it to neutralize.
Well, I just read about that. It's something with the pH, because I guess it's technically an acid. Why would you put an acid on it to neutralize it? I don't know. But my soap making book says not vinegar like Fight Club. Brad Pitt, you were wrong.
Should we tag him? They're like, Brad Pitt, you're wrong, dude.
You're wrong.
They wanted
Damn
me to.
Hollywood.
They wanted me to do Fight Club, and I was too busy. So I'm like, whatever. Just give it to that other guy that looks kind of like me.
I'm
What's
just gonna
this?
tap
Brad
this
Pitt.
down. Let me do it on this solid wood. Just make sure there's no bubbles in that loofah.
I like the loofah more because the bars don't like melt when I leave them like in the stream of the shower.
Yeah.
They don't disappear
Well,
as
this
easy.
is also technically a hard bar. And like I said earlier, all of your different soaps will give different, or all of your different fats will give different properties to your soap. That's why I really like to use that soapcalc.net, because it does break down everything. It tells you how much it's going to lather, how much it's going to condition your skin, how hard it's going to be. Everything that you could possibly think of.
Did they have calculations for the rabbit fat and stuff like
they
that?
have rabbit fat, they have deer tallow, bear tallow, they have all kinds.
See, I want to make bear soap.
Yeah, somebody send us some bear fat.
Or you could just go let me kill one if this
You can go kill
coronavirus
a
stuff
bear.
goes away.
You can kill a bear. I have some extra.
So they have all the milk stuff in there too. Calculations
no,
for
they
milk.
don't have liquid. You can basically use whatever, and it doesn't change how it's going to turn out. Like, you can use milk, you can use water. People use buttermilk. I've used kombucha before.
You've used breast milk?
I've used breast milk. Yes.
It's creepy.
And it hasn't, as far as, like, the only difference is if you're using a milk, you want to start with, like, ice cubes of that milk.
So, like, this
So
is
that way it
full
doesn't
trace
burn.
because it's like...
This is full, yeah, this is full on trace. See how it's keeping its peak?
It's, you know what it is? It's thinner pudding.
Yeah, basically.
So when it starts showing the ripples in it like pudding.
Yeah. I mean, and you can mix all kinds of different stuff into this. Like, I've mixed in polenta to give it, like, a nice scratchy.
What was the one that was like glass?
Dried lemongrass. I like super scratchy soap. And we had done dried lemongrass that I put in a coffee grinder and turned to dust. And it was like cleaning your skin with glass. It was awesome. Loved it. All right, well, this is our soap. So this is going to sit for about 24 to 48 hours before I unmold it and then cut it. And then from there, it's got to cure for 4 to 6 weeks. I have little pH readers that I check the pH on it.
Now, why
between
4
8
to
and
6
10.
weeks? Because the pH
Because
is...
that's how long it takes to cure. The pH is really high right now.
So it'll hurt.
It'll burn, yeah. So
don't use your
need that
soap
pH
early.
to come down. You want it between 8 and 10. I usually aim for 8 because it's a little bit softer of the lower of pH, better for more sensitive skin.
You look so professional with the goggles on.
All right, that's it. And we'll film it unmolding and cutting it in about 2 days.
And then we're going to do a shower scene, right?
No. All right, so it's been about 3 days since we made our soap. Usually I let them cure about 24 to 48 hours, but we got a little distracted yesterday, so I didn't get around to it. I went ahead and I made 2. One was with rabbit fat, and then this is the deer fat one that has the honey in it, or our hunter soap. So I'm gonna go ahead and just unmold it. At this point, it's still soft enough. It's soft
slid
enough
out
to cut.
easy.
Yeah, it did. Well, I pre-slid them out a little bit. 'cause
Oh,
they
you
get stuck,
cheated.
yeah.
Okay, because
You can
sometimes
muscle
they
them.
get stuck.
Depends, you know. So.
Let's see what she looks like.
Alright, here she is.
And that's got the loofah in it?
This has the loofah in it. They sometimes stick to this binder, or this, yeah, see it's sticking a little bit. It got a little, should have cut it yesterday.
I've been busy.
But, oh goodness. Oh yeah, that is sticking bad.
Okay, well.
It'll come. It's alright, we should have just cut it yesterday, but
Yeah.
that's what it is. It's for us.
Yeah, my bad. We were building a garden. There it goes.
There it goes. I was gonna say, sometimes they stick to this. I've got to find something else that's a little bit better. They make all kinds of silicone molds and stuff like that that you can get. So here it is. At this point, it is safe to touch. You don't want to use it though. pH will be way too high and won't feel all that great on your skin. So I just go ahead with a sharp knife and just slice it. Slice it in the little 1 inch cubes.
Ah.
Ooh, and then it does need to cure on a rack for like 4 to 6 weeks.
And do you test it though after?
Do, yeah. I was gonna
Okay.
go over. Just wanted to cut a couple of them. They sell these pH tester strips, and you just go ahead. There's directions on how to do it, and I'll go ahead and I'll do this right now. The pH is gonna be pretty high, but put a little drip on your soap, kind of work it into a little bit of a lather or a slurry, and then you just touch it to the water. And you can see that pH. It'll take a couple seconds for it to turn, but
Okay, but you get the idea.
you get the idea. Yeah, you want to aim between 8 to 10. And yeah, so that's it. This is my first time making it with honey, so I'm excited to see how it will turn out. These will eventually be available on our shop at omnivoresquivers.com, but not this first batch because this is our tester.
I thought we've done this. The only difference is just
we
honey.
have just the different
Because
fat.
I don't get winded by animals with the other one that you do.
Honestly, we don't have that much deer fat, so I'm going to be making it with the hog tallow or the hog lard, pig lard.
Oh, yeah, but I
And
want to eat
I'll probably
that.
be posting that.
I want to eat the hog though.
Well,
The lard.
shoot a fatty hog.
All right.
then you can.
You want to say goodbye to everybody? Oh, no, wait, not
You
yet.
want the recipe.
Okay.
Here's the recipe. This is for the deer fat. We will go ahead and we'll have him copy this down and we will post it, the recipe. And then if you have beef fat, that's your water and your lye for amounts for the beef fat. If you have it. But thanks for watching.